Yo, what's good everybody? In today's video, we're gonna be doing the very first recipe at the new house. Today, we're gonna be doing a Black Russian bundt cake with chocolate glaze. This is my first time ever doing this recipe, so I hope that you guys like it. Make sure that you stay till the end of the video because we're gonna be going over the total milligrams of this cake. Now, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's do it! Now, before I get started, if you're in the market for a magical butter machine, on-rock, herbal infuser, or any of the products that you see right here on the channel, come over to my website, shop.goodeats420.com. That is my website where you're going to get the best deal for any infusion machine that you may need. Shop.goodeats420.com. Make sure you use the code THANKYOU to get $10 off your order at shop.goodeats420.com. All right, guys, so we're going to be making this Black Russian cake. Let's go ahead and get into it. It's pretty simple. Let's do it. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this box of Betty Crocker yellow cake mix and we're going to put it in our mixing bowl. We're going to take a box of this chocolate jello mix and we're going to put it in there as well. So the next thing that we're going to put in is our oil. The recipe calls for vegetable oil, but what we're going to do is, you know, this is Good Eats 420. So we're actually going to use this infused coconut oil that we made on the channel. And we're going to use a cup of this. There we go. 1 cup. The next thing that we're going to add in is 4 eggs. As you can see, we have 4 eggs in our Good Eats 420 Flex measuring cup. Let's put those in. 4 eggs. Now this is a Black Russian cake, so the next thing that we need to add in is our vodka, 1/4 cup. There we go. Also, what we're going to do to even medicate this further, we just used a cup of our infused coconut oil. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put in a 1/4 cup of our Green Dragon. We made Green Dragon here on the channel. And so we're going to kick this up some more by putting in a 1/4 cup of that Green Dragon. Ooh, 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 ooh. So we're medicating this a bunch of different ways. We got our infused oil. We have our Green Dragon. These two are not the only way that we're going to medicate it. We're going to be doing some more medicating here in a little bit, but let's go ahead and continue with the recipe. We also need a 1/4 cup of KAHLUA. So you guys should like this one. We have our THC in there, but also this has some alcohol in there too, and some liqueur. 1/4 cup, bam. Okay, so now we have all the ingredients inside of our mixing bowl. Let's go ahead and get our hand mixer here. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to mix this for 1 minute on low, and then I'm gonna kick it up and we're gonna do it on 2 minutes on high. Let's do it. All right, so that's 1 minute on low. Now we're gonna do it on 2 minutes on high. Let's do it. All right, guys, so I think that's good enough right there. The consistency is great. When I was a kid, and my grandmother used to make cakes and stuff, we used to love getting these when she was finished. so we can lick all the frosting off. All right guys, so now that we have our batter made, what I want to do is I want to grab my spatulas. These right here are the Good Eats 420 spatulas that's on the website. If you want to support me or the channel, come over to the website shop.goodeats420.com and get you some. But what's great about these is I had these made and you actually get 6 different spatulas in the spatula set, and we have a brush here, cake spatula, and it has the Good Eats 420 logo on it. So if you want to grab some, come get them off the website. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Good Eats 420 spatula, and we're just going to let's go around the edges here, making sure that everything is combined well. So now that our cake batter is done, let's go ahead and grease up and flour up our bundt pan, and then we'll go to the next step. All right guys, so this is a bundt pan, and this is made by Nordic Ware. And so what we're going to do is we're going to grease this up. You can use, oil, butter, lard, shortening, whatever you want to use, you can definitely use it. But what you want to do is you want to grease this up, and then we're going to use some flour and flour it up as well. And we want to do this to make sure that this doesn't stick. It's very important, or otherwise whenever we go to flip this over, the top will stick and it's going to mess up our cake. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to use this vegetable oil spray, but I could use can of butter if I wanted to, but I think that, right now it's medicated quite a bunch, and we're still going to be medicating it more here in a minute. So I think using this vegetable spray is going to be a lot faster than using the can of butter. So let's go ahead and use this. Make sure you get the middle part as well. Now we're just going to take a little flour. Just a little bit. We just want to all right, so let's go ahead and pour this in here. All right guys, so you see what it looks like. I have the oven preheated at 350. We're gonna put this in for 50 minutes. I'll show you what it looks like whenever it comes out. Here we go. All right guys, and while our cake is in the oven, let me show you something else. I've already showed you how to do this on the channel. This is some THC lean that I made with the Collins simple syrup. We do have the Collins simple syrup on the website as well. But remember, I told you guys when I first showed you how to do the THC lean that I told you that one of the great things that's great about the simple syrup or the THC lean is that we're able to take this and we're able to keep our cakes moist a lot longer. So we medicated this cake so far with the infused coconut oil, also with our green dragon. You're going to see how we're going to use this THC lean or infused simple syrup here in a second. All I did to make this, by the way, if you didn't know, I just take this Collins simple syrup, which we sell on the website, and I take some of the green dragon, and we just, instead of making it by scratch, which you can, just take this bottle simple syrup, put some green dragon in there to medicate it. Now, we have medicated simple syrup or THC lean. So let's let that cake get finished cooking, and then we'll go to the next step. But I want you guys to see this. I'll see you in about 45 minutes. All right, guys, so the 50 minutes is over, as you can hear. Let's cancel that. Got my pot holders. And let's check it out. Oh, it looks beautiful. Look at that. So now we want to test it to make sure that it's cooking. So let me grab a skewer. All right, got a skewer. Let me just put it in here. And as you can see, it's not coming out clean. So we're going to put it back in there for another 5 to 10 minutes. One thing that I do want to mention is the rack is normally in the middle. I put it down one so that way it wouldn't be so high, because if you put it up so high, the top of it will end up cooking faster than the bottom, and we didn't want that. So I put the rack down instead of the middle. I put it down one. That's a little tip for you guys. Now let's go ahead and close this up, and we'll give it another 5-10 minutes. All right, guys, so it's been 7 minutes. So it's been a total of 57 minutes. Let's go ahead and take it out and check it. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't overcook. There we go. All right, let's try it out. Oh, there we go, it's clean now. Yay, yittity. All right, so I know for next time, 57 minutes, we're good. All right, well, as you guys can see, it's looking great. We're going to let this cool for like 10 minutes before we flip it over and try to take it out of our pan. Let's hope, fingers crossed, that nothing gets stuck, but we'll do that in about 10 minutes. So let me let it cool for 10 minutes and then we'll go to the next step. All right, guys, so it's been 10 minutes. I should turn that off. All right. This is called a cake spatula. It's one of the ones that you get in the Good Eats 420 spatula set. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this little one and I'm just gonna go in here just to make sure, you know, that I just wanna make sure that, you know, it's loose and this is gonna come out, you know? So that's one of the things that I think would make sense, just to make sure that, you know, we get a release whenever we go to actually flip this upside down, which is what we're going to do right now. I just want to make sure that we get a release. All right, let's do this. All righty. Da 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 da. Yeah. Hell yeah, that worked great. All right, so now what we're gonna do is, as I told you guys earlier, we were gonna medicate this some more. What we're gonna do now is, we're gonna take some of this infused simple syrup, or TAC lean, and we're going to take our flex measuring cup and just put some of this in here. That should be good. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our brush from our spatula set and we're gonna take our TAC lane infused cannabis syrup and we're just going to just cover the cake with it. Now what this is gonna do is this is gonna help it stay moist a whole lot longer. So you just wanna just take it and brush the entire cake with it, and we are infusing this some more because you guys know that this infused simple syrup is obviously infused. And so if you have a big jar, I would suggest that you pour some in a cup or a bowl because you're going to get crumbs in there. And so if you have a big jar, you don't want to have crumbs in your big jar, your bottle, whatever. So pour some in a cup and use it like this. But oh yeah. So you can see why we put down a pan in the parchment paper. You didn't have to put the parchment paper. I just wanted to, you know, make sure everything's clean. There we go. So just make sure that's covered well. And so now what that's going to do is that's going to keep your cake really moist. And for us, we're infusing it some more too. All right, that's awesome. All right, so now that we got that done, now we need to let this cool. And so I'm actually going to let this cool for, like, you know, we really want this to be cool whenever we do our glaze, because if it's not cool whenever you do your glaze, then whenever you put the glaze on the cake, it's going to melt. So it needs to be cool, so that way it's going to actually glaze like we wanted to glaze. So I'm going to let this chill out for like 2 hours, and then we'll come back and we'll do the glaze. And obviously the glaze is going to be medicated as well. So we're medicating this cake 4 ways. with the oil, with the green dragon, with the THC lean, and with the glaze. It's gonna have can of butter in the glaze. So I'll see you guys in 2 hours. Much love. Let's let this cool down. I'm just gonna put one more coat of this on here. You can be really generous with this. It just soaks it all up. All right, guys, so it's been 2 hours and our cake is completely cool now. So we're gonna go ahead and do this glaze. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna sift 1 cup of powdered sugar. So I got my sifter right here. I got a cup. And we just wanna sift this a little bit more. So that way it's not lumpy. All right, so we got our powdered sugar sifted. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to grab some can of butter. All right, guys, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of our lovely can of butter that we made. And I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons here. And you can see how easy it is. That's why I always make sticks. Whenever you make sticks, you can see how easy it is to tell where the tablespoons are. So there we go. Got 2 tablespoons right there. Put that in the cup. Now we need a 1/4 cup of chocolate. You can use unsweetened or semi-sweet chocolate. It's up to you. We're gonna use 2 ounces, or 2 ounces is the same thing as a 1/4 cup. All right, so as you can see, we have 2 tablespoons of our can of butter. We have 2 ounces or a 1/4 cup of chocolate. I'm gonna put this in the microwave for a minute. You can use a saucepan to do this or a double boil if you want to. I'm gonna use the Goodies 420 Flex measuring cups. They're great. And we're going to do it right in the microwave. So I'm gonna do it for a minute, and then after that, we'll do it in 15-second intervals. So let's go ahead and put it in there for a minute. All right, so that's a minute. So you can see that it's already starting to melt right there. So I'm gonna use this cake spatula again, start mixing this up. Oh, great. Look at that. Yeah, that's great. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to pour our chocolate and melted can of butter inside of our sugar here. So now you can use boiling water, but I'm gonna be using milk, and I'm gonna do this 1 tablespoon at a time. So this is milk, and I'm gonna put 1 tablespoon in here. There we go. Like I said, you can use boiling water, but I'm just gonna use milk. All right, so now let's start mixing this together. Start forming a glaze. All right, let me get another tablespoon of milk. As you can see, it's pretty thick here. There we go. There's a 2nd tablespoon. Loosen it up some. All right, we got a nice glaze going now. Let's see here. And this out just a little bit more, just a little bit. There we go. Half a teaspoon right there. So that was 2 tablespoons, and then half a teaspoon, just to. All right, so now let's get ready to glaze our cake here. All right, and so to do this glaze, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour this on the top of the cake and then let it run down by itself. More milk. All right, guys, so as promised, we're gonna go over the milligrams and the dosage for our cake. So you guys know that we actually medicated this 4 different ways. The first thing that we did is we used our infused oil. We used a cup of oil, and that was 2,800 milligrams. The next thing that we did is we used our green dragon. That was a 1/4 cup right there, or 4 tablespoons, and that was 880 milligrams. The next thing that we used was our THC lean or infused simple syrup. Now, we didn't use the whole bottle. There was 500 milligrams in that whole bottle, and you've seen how much we used. So I'm just going to just say that it's 20 milligrams, or they're about 20 milligrams. The last way that we medicated our cake is with our can of butter that we just used for the glaze. That was 2 tablespoons, which was 350 milligrams. So the total milligrams for our Black Russian Bundt cake with chocolate glaze is 4,050 milligrams. That is the total milligrams for our cake. All in all, I'm really happy with this recipe, especially for me doing this for the first time. The only thing that I really would change is I would make my glaze more thinner, so that way we get that classic kind of drops on the cake. It's a little bit too thick, I believe, but besides that, I think that we did really good with making this for our first time. So that's it, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I am Bassdropkeys. Most of the products that we use in this video you can find on my website. The measuring cups, the spatulas, the Collins simple syrup, the coconut oil, the butter. You can find all of that on my website, shop.goodeats420.com. I really appreciate all of you guys. And until I see you guys the next time, peace and good eats. I'm out, guys. Much love.